If you have recently lost a loved one, you may be wondering how much your wrongful death lawsuit is worth. We hope to shine light on the calculation and key elements that go into the determination. We also tell you about an additional type of death claim for potentially added compensation. Link in description. We know that losing a loved one can put you in a tough financial position, causing you to wonder if you can pay your bills, the rent, and mortgage. Wrongful death lawsuit settlements have a wide range of outcomes. Some might get nothing, while others might win millions or more. Learn the factors that make the biggest difference through this information provided by the attorney. Get a complimentary case review or free second opinion with the lawyer now, 24/7 at wrongfuldeathcenter.com, or by calling the lawyer at toll-free 1-800-400-5050, day or night. First, there are economic damages, and then there are non-economic damages. Economic damages involve more clear numbers, while non-economic damages require putting a numerical value on your pain and suffering. For determining the economic damages, write down the cost of medical bills related to the incident, the cost of the reasonable burial and funeral expenses, and the amount of money you have lost due to the deceased's loss of income and benefits, depending on the laws of your case's state jurisdiction. Calculating the deceased's loss of income and benefits is a complex calculation that varies from state to state. But think about the related elements, such as the deceased's income, the support the deceased was providing, and deceased's age and health. We will discuss economic damages more in a minute. Now, it's important to also assess the non-economic damages. Your deeply emotional and compelling story can make a positive impact on your potential compensation outcome. However, it's important to assess this on an objective level. Think about how other people would feel about what happened, and how they would compare it to other wrongful deaths in the past. For example, in some jurisdictions, the jury might also award punitive damages to the surviving family members if the responsible party's actions were particularly egregious, reckless, or displayed a willful disregard for safety and well-being of others, which often greatly increases compensation. Additionally, your chosen timeline and risk tolerance can make a big impact on the potential outcome. For example, some people might want to settle the case fast, while others might be willing to go all the way to a court trial to try to maximize their financial compensation and get the most justice, even though they may be risking it all and might get nothing. If you have also consulted with mental and financial experts, their statements and testimonies often alter the amount too. For example, accountants are often used to assess factors like net accumulation, a critical calculation for estimating the potential lifetime earnings of the deceased. Often, the facts of your particular case are what make the difference in getting zero, something in the middle, or potentially getting millions of dollars or more. One big determining factor is whether the compensation should cover a shorter period like the immediate aftermath, or extend to encompass the rest of your life. They might look at your age and health during such a calculation to see how severe and long-lasting your pain and suffering will be. Another factor they consider is whether the deceased was the breadwinner, the family's main source of financial support. In addition, they typically calculate how much longer the deceased would have worked, based on how healthy the deceased was before the death, to determine how much longer the deceased could have provided you with financial support if the wrongful death didn't happen. Consistently, one of the factors that make the biggest differences is the financial standing of the liable defendant and the size of any insurance policies related to the wrongful death. Unfortunately, insurance policies generally have payout limits. The insurance limits depend on many factors, such as the type of insurance it was. For example, the insurance for a small car might have a much lower policy limit than a large insurance policy of a residential home insurance or commercial vehicle or property. Typically, larger and more expensive vehicles and properties, as well as those owned by companies or the government, tend to have the biggest insurance policies. with the highest potential for larger amounts of compensation, considering who was responsible for causing the wrongful death and what kind of insurance policy limit they might have chosen, can give you a big clue into the limits of the potential settlement outcome. For example, a high net worth individual or celebrity might have a larger insurance limit. It's a case-by-case determination with complex parts. For example, there might be an umbrella insurance policy you're not aware of. We speak about this more on our channel. Lawyers also consider the defendant's personal assets and a bunch of other factors, such as potentially how many other family members or beneficiaries are seeking compensation. Also, learn about survival actions. You might be able to have a legal claim for additional compensation for the pain and suffering the deceased experienced between the time of the accident and the death. Jimmy Hanaie is a California licensed lawyer. Check description for our best links. There are time limits. Don't delay. Make sure to learn your state's laws. Most importantly, there's always hope. wrongfuldeathcenter.com